Our glories to the some devotees, our glories to the some devotees, our glories to the some devotees. Our glories to Sister Gauranga, Sister Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 8, Text 10. Title of this chapter is The Character of Bharat Maharaj. Does everybody here understand English? Hello. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasa tato jaya mudiraye nastapaye svabhadesu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamam sloke bhakti bhavaiti maistri. So, is this written on the board? No.
It's prose still, yeah, because we cannot recite it together.
Alright, so, but, this is the time to proper say it is the principle. You have all your, this is the age of, this is digital culture. You have your smartphone and your tabloids, iPads, iPhones and iPads. So yeah, this is the time to purify those
Gadgets.
Nunam hyarya sadhava upasama sila kripana surida evam vidate svatamapi gurutaram upekshante. So word for word translation, please kindly respond for a bit. Nunam, indeed.
Indeed.
He, certainly.
Certainly.
Aryaha,
Aryaha,
those who are advanced in civilization.
those who are advanced in civilization.
Sadhavaha,
Sadhavaha,
simply persons. Upasama silaha,
Upasama Shilaha,
even though completely in the renounce order of life. Even though completely in the renounce order of life.
completely in the renounced order of life.
I thought all of you have your smartphones. No? Okay. Kripas Suridaha,
Kripa Suridaha,
the friends of the helpless.
The friends
friends of the helpless.
Evam Vida Ate,
Evangeline
to execute such principles.
To execute such principles.
Swatam Api, even their own personal interests.
even their own
Personal interests.
Guru Taran,
Guru Taran,
very important.
Very important.
Pekshante,
Upekshante,
neglect.
neglect.
So translation and purport by divine grace. It's confounded, so it's if I put it down. So I'm Bharat Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Okay, translation. Even though one is in the renounced order, one who is advanced certainly feels compassion for suffering living entities. One should certainly neglect his own personal interests, although they may be very important, to protect one who has surrendered. Please can you respond? Even though one is in the renounced order,
even though one is
in the renounced order,
one who is advanced
one who is advanced
certainly feels compassion
certainly feels compassion
for suffering living entities.
for
for suffering living entities.
One should certainly neglect
One should certainly neglect
his own personal interests,
his own personal interests,
although they may be very important,
although they may be very important,
to protect one who has surrendered.
to protect one who has surrendered.
But Maya is very strong. In the name of philanthropy, altruism, and communism, people are feeling compassion for suffering humanity throughout the world. Philanthropists and altruists do not realize that it is impossible to improve people's material conditions. Material conditions are already established by the superior administration according to one's karma. They cannot be changed. The only benefit we can render to suffering beings is to try to raise them in spiritual consciousness. Material comforts cannot be interested or cannot be increased or decreased. It is therefore said in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 5th chapter, text 18, Kal labhyate dukkhava ayanta sukham. As far as material happiness is concerned, that comes without effort, just as tribulations come without effort. Material happiness and pain can be attained without endeavor. One should not bother for material activities. If one is at all sympathetic or able to do good to others, he should endeavor to raise people to Krishna consciousness. In this way, everyone advances spiritually by the grace of the Lord. For our instruction, Bharat Maharaj acted in such a way. We should be very careful not to be misled by so-called welfare activities conducted in public things. One should not give up his interest in attaining the favor of Lord Vishnu at any cost. Generally, people do not know this, or they forget it. Consequently, they sacrifice their own original interest, the attainment of Vishnu's favor, and engage in philanthropic activities for bodily comfort. Sadveta Savatuta Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Sirada Krishna Pada Saha Ganavita Vishakam Vitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabam Jivapati Gopesha Radha Kanta Tata Kanta Radhe When we say Krishna Chaitanya, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasad Bhutale Bhakti Vasudeva Swami. Namaste Sara Satdeve So welcome to this segment of the morning program. For those who've been following up with this charter, it's about Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj was such an exalted devotee of the Lord. He renounced his kingdom, went to the forest, performed to pass. He was very advanced in his spiritual endeavor. He was engaged in his duties by the bank of the river Gandaki. Gandaki is now in Nepal. So he was performing his spiritual duties, and then a lion roared very ferociously, and a deer was by pregnant deer. Out of fear of the lion's roar, she leaped across the river. But she was pregnant, so she had a miscarriage. And the baby fell into the river. And so, Bharat, he was watching all of this unpalatable scenario. So he took compassion on the deer, on the calf, baby deer that was floating in the river. He picked that calf up, took the calf on, and took the calf to his ashram, Palaha ashram. So he took the calf to his ashram and was attending to this, providing his needs. What is the problem? There's no problem with that at all. Do be very kind. Extend yourself. Go out. Move out of your comfort zone and help people, help living entities. That is not the problem. The problem is the result of that. What comes out of it? Is there some raga, some attachment? So here this text is stated that even those who are in another life, Bharat was in another life. So Bharat was simply executing his duty. You have to be compassionate and yes, compassion is very important for the preachers, for the sadhu, for those in the council of life, to go to any extent. And I was doing Prabhupada's statement. He said, during initiation, the spiritual master takes the sinful reactions of the disciple. So this is, the guru business is very suicidal, isn't it? It's suicide. But someone has to do the dirty job. So, people take responsibility and sometimes people take inconvenience. But for Bharat, it was not an inconvenience to him. He was joyfully tending to this deer. Deer is like a surrendered soul to God. Under care. I mean, it's like you have a child. You have to be responsible for the child. Because you are supposed to facilitate the extrication of that child from the clutches of material coherences. In other words, you're supposed to be responsible for that child's liberation from the material world, tending to their needs, social needs, economic needs, educational needs, spiritual needs, whatever. Therefore, the responsibilities of the parent, responsibilities of the teacher, responsibilities of the sadhus, they're very imperative for collective and individual emancipation. And so people have to go, move out of their comfort zone. Even the preacher, the devotee is going out to preach, that is also a very compassionate approach to life. But when we go out to the holy names, that is the most magnanimous activities that we can do. But that is the yuga dharma for this age. Altruism, yes, it's very good. Soft heart, people are good heart, altruistic. They care for the needs of others, provide the needs of others, philanthropies, donate money to some just causes. You know, some of these celebrities in America, they have so much money. And some of them are very much they invest their resources, financial resources, in helping the poor. Yeah, that is a good help. But according to the purport here, Baba is saying that, doing these philanthropic activities is to be able to try to keep the body in shape. What about the soul? What about the soul? Because people in general, they don't know about the soul. So they can deal with what they know about. That is the body. And so the real welfare is to leverage the consciousness of the living entities. Oh, yeah. Because this whole comfort about material existence, Bhagavatam is mentioned. Papa made a reference to it here, 1:5:18. Yeah, that's very interesting verse. Leon, you know this verse? Bhagavatam 1:5:18. You should study that. This is very good for brahmacharis. Tasheva Hedro Prayateta Kovida. So, in that verse that Prabhupada made a reference to here, it's mentioned that someone who is really intelligent, this is what they do. Spiritual life. Someone who is very intelligent. And there are so many reasons, you know. See, the philanthropists, they may try to give people some type of some social provisions, building houses for them, providing them with money, giving them, giving them their school fees, all this stuff. But that is just this life. It's just this life. That's it. Even you provide the whole world with all of these social resources. It's just this life. Now, if we compare this social philanthropy and altruism to the benefits of performing devotional service, it's just like a speck. Suppose you have so much money that you're the richest person on the planet, and you give your money, but even the richest person on the planet, he doesn't give his money. So really like that. But there are some people who are really very philanthropic and altruistic. So you may have so much money, and you have a good heart. Then you go about helping people, distributing your money for different causes, hospitals, schools, feeding the poor, and all this thing. But even the feeding the poor is not decided. So the idea behind all of this goodwill is that in most cases they know that they will reap the results. You do good, you do good results. They may not know that they will come back to this material world to reap the results. Of course, in India, people know that they will come back and reap the good results. In the West, when people perform, they just have good hearts. They perform activities. They feel good when they perform. And of course, when you perform good acts, according to research reports, you perform good acts, you feel good. Yeah. It makes you feel better. You are healthier. So even for anything else, yeah, helping people is a good deal. Investing our financial resources to help people is a good. But all of this cannot be compared to the investments that we make in spiritual devotion service. How is that? See, if we in the Chaitanya Bhagavad, in the discussion between Pundarik Vijayanidhi and Gadadhar Pandit, Mukunda had brought Gadadhar Pandit to see Pundarik Vijayanidhi. It's glorified so much about, the devotion, intense devotion, dedication of Pundarik Vijayanidhi. So he brought Gadadhar Pandit, his friend, young friend, to come and have darshan of Pundarik Vijayanidhi. Gadadhar Pandit, he was a pandit. Pandit means someone who is highly learned. He knows symptoms of a sadhu. You can't say you're a sadhu and the symptoms are not there. External symptoms, internal symptoms. So then, sometimes people know too much and then they miscue. So Gadadhar Pandit went there with Mukunda, and then he saw he wanted to have to meet with Pundarik Vijayanidhi. And then he saw how Pundarik Vijayanidhi was in such an opulent section. Sometimes people think that your performing spiritual life is supposed to be just poor. Live a wretched life. Maybe just put on cookies and then, walk the streets. So in the West, when people go to India and then see all this, they went to Kumbh Mela, and I had that report. I had that report in Western media. Some of these Western journalists, they went to the witnesses Kumbh Mela, and they said all these nude sadhus and all these Shivites are nude. They've been in the forest for years and they're nude. So, how is the Western going to interpret that? Yeah, so it's a complex thing. Achintya. Spiritual culture is purely achintya, inconceivable for the common man. So, when Gadadhar Pandit, he saw how Mukunda setting, he was living in opulence. So he doubted. The doubt struck. In India, it's very common. Someone sends you a message on Facebook and says, "Oh, Maharaj, I have a doubt." Instead of going to the nearby temple to ask about their doubt, they go onto the internet to, as if, we don't have anything to do. We're just sitting down there waiting for their doubts. So someone sends you a message saying, "Maharaj, I have a doubt." So yeah, Gadadhar Pandit had a doubt. He saw Pundarik Vijayanidhi in opulence. And that was apparently a counterculture for the sadhu. Sadhu is supposed to live in the poor. We hear about Babaji Guru Kishore staying near the toilet. So he saw Gadadhar Pandit, he saw Pundarik in chosen opulence, so he had the doubt. So when he had the doubt, the person who brought him, Mukunda, he is also very an astute devotee. So he perceived that Gadadhar had a doubt. You see? He perceived that Gadadhar had a doubt. So he recited some verses from the Bhagavatam. And Pundarik Vijayanidhi, he swore into ecstasy. Gadadhar Pandit thought, "Oh my goodness, I have finished. I committed an offense." Anyway, to cut matters short, afterwards, the Dada decided to take shelter of Kula repeatedly, to take initiation for him, to serve it, so as to enable him to serve him so that his sinful reactions could be known. And that's the reason why the Dada Pandit took initiation from Kula repeatedly. And in this discussion between Garara Pandit and Pudari Vidyanin, he was explaining how devotional service is so glorious that even for the ordinary devotee, just by following the regulatory principles and chanting every day, doing some service to the Lord, they will 10,000 generations of the family will be liberated before, then, and after. For the Madhyamadikari, I think it's 12 or 14. Yeah, but the Paramahamsa, 21 generations. So, if even you are Elon Musk, supposedly the richest person on the planet, how many generations you're going to see? In fact, even Elon Musk, his own daughter came to the public and was castigating him, young girl. So, the philanthropism and altruism, see, let's declare they are good ventures. But you cannot compare that to devotion, the results of devotional culture. And therefore, Prabhupada indicates in his purport here that we should invest our energies in Krishna consciousness, because this will facilitate our extrication from repeated bad no matter what you are, you suffer some miseries. If you really become a billionaire without devotional life, you will commit some crime, like Trump. Yeah, he didn't go to jail, but the infamy for Kshatriya and administrative warriors, they have church spirits. So, an infamy for an administrative warrior is worse than death. That's why he fought so hard to quash those 34 convictions, 34 counts convictions. But he went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court are mostly judges he appointed in his post. Like saying, hey, look, I put you in this position, free me, quash all this thing, throw this off. The judges, Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, they said, yeah, you go for the sentence. So he's a very distinctive person, because he's the first U.S. president who went to the Oval Office as a fellow. In fact, in my current research is on fellowocracy. It's on Trump. And the point is why this troubles devotional bankruptcy, spiritual bankruptcy. People get into trouble because of devotional bankruptcy. Because when someone is engaged in devotional activities, there are side effects. See, the goal is that you become purified and you go back to Krishna at the end of this life. That is the ultimate goal. But besides, there are side effects. It's like you underwent some therapy, chemotherapy, Anybody here has undergone chemotherapy? Anybody? No. Okay. I can give you some idea about the side effects of chemotherapy. Sometimes some people they lose their head. Yeah, cancer will be addressed, but that's terrible side effects. So, the system of Bhakti Yoga is also a therapy, you know, because it purifies the living entity. It enables us to attain Krishna prema for anybody who is serious. A therapy is a process or a system where one is able to achieve a goal that could be unimaginable. It's like cancer. Your cancer is like a deadly. It's a deadly disease. But even if you're lucky, you undergo some therapy. And new therapies have been developed for different types of cancers. So, it's one of the therapies that are chemically oriented, they have side effects. Our system, Bhakti Yoga, also has side effects. But the side effects are very good. So, for instance, one is able to develop self-restraint. And if you have self-restraint, you will not go to commit crimes. You will not be involved in antisocial behavior, unethical behavior. So, at least if people don't even aspire to get out from the prison of material existence, it's good for people in general to do some, to invest their resources in Bhakti Yoga. If they cannot sit down and chant Hare Krishna, they should do some service, because that will help to leverage the enemy. So back to the point, we have to be careful. Prabhupada says we have to be careful in this material world, because we may have good intentions. Bharat has good intentions. But it develops some attachment. The problem is not what we do, our bhav, mindset. We develop attachment. And Krishna is Bhavagrahi. He responds, or he reciprocates the entities, the embodied souls, based on their bhav. So, Bharat develops some bhav, rati bhav for the deal, attachment. And then one day, he was searching for this deer. He came to a point that he was so much absorbed in the deer. Thinking about the deer. He would go out with the deer. He would eat with the deer. It's love, no? Isn't it love? Hmm? Yes. Yeah. We're talking about love in London, psychology of love. People don't really talk about those things in the public, so they thought, this guy is so bold, so brave. So, Bharat got into trouble. Not because of his service to the deer. Let's get this point straight. Not because of his service to the deer. Not because of his compassion. Because of the mindset. Developed attachment. And then one day, you see, one day, he was searching for this deer. He had gone out. He was searching for the deer. And then he fell down and died. So he was thinking about the deer. Krishna says in the Gita, Yam Bhavi Smaram Bhavam Tyaja Te Anti Kaliva. Whatever one remembers at the time of death, whatever consciousness we have at the time of death, Our next destination will be based on our consciousness. So that's our Bharat became a deer in this next life. We don't want to become deers in our next life. We want to go back home, back to God. It's a lesson to learn. Yes, we have to be kind, we have to be compassionate. We should not be attached to results. We should not be attached to our object of service. Because if we remember that object, then like Bharat, that's our next destination. There's nothing wrong in Bharat being compassionate to the deer. There's nothing wrong in Bharat helping this deer. The problem was it developed attachment. The deer is described in this very chapter. The deer became his object of contemplation. And what you think about is what you're going to develop attachment for. While contemplating the object of the senses, one develops attachment. That's what Krishna said in the Gita. So, we have to develop, we have to utilize, we have to navigate through the material world as we become compassionate, or as we exhibit compassion. We spread our compassion on people, on embodied souls, without getting into trouble. Not making them the object of worship. Krishna. So Bharat, he even will not do his sadhana. So absorbed in taking care. This deer became his Krishna. Some point in time. What kind of place? Nothing should substitute Krishna in our lives. So, any comments or questions? That's a very nice chapter, you know. Yes, Bolo.
Thank you, Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, material comfort cannot be increased or decreased.
Yeah.
Now, if you look in the world, the last maybe 200-300 years, how industrialism has brought so much material prosperity to the world. And for example, if you look at transport, previously there was no cars, no planes, no trains. It was more troublesome to move.
Sure.
So there's more comfort, more convenience.
Mm-hmm.
So how is this statement true?
It's true. I can explain to you.
Please.
You know, sometimes people really get confused about some of Prabhupada's statements. I was discussing, at London School of Economics. I gave a presentation there. And then after the presentation in London, so one of these girls, who was in the program, she came to me. I think she has been reading the books or maybe been practicing. And her concern was Prabhupada's statements about, that women are less intelligent. So, and then I explained to her, the fundamental things that I understand about intelligence. Our intelligence is a broad discipline. So, for instance, I was explaining to her, we have mathematical intelligence, spatial intelligence, social intelligence, emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Which intelligence Prabhupada is referring to? We don't know. And for social intelligence, women are 8 times more social intelligent than men. Take me to look. A 17-year-old girl can manipulate a man of 25 years old with all of the money and resources. She was laughing. Initially, she came very upset, angry. But then when I explained all this stuff, yeah, so, you see, Prabhupada mentioned that we can't increase or decrease. But it doesn't mean that there couldn't be technological development. Planes, see, each time I'm aboard the plane, all these big aircrafts, I just thought, I would reflect, wow, technology, human brain, this big thing, they can float it in the air. If the people can use this brain in serving Krishna, wow, the world would have been a different place completely. So, the decrease or increase is basically about quantification. Quantification in the sense that this very text that Prabhupada made a reference to, 1:5:18, Tashetra Hetu Pedatir, not Tat Labdate, Dukkha, Ayantasu, Dukkha. See, our happiness and the stress, we are successful not based on our efforts. It's been programmed. This is what you're going to achieve in this life. I'll give you an example. Two guys, they went to law school. I mean, American lawyers are like revered, like sages. They know the law. And two guys went to law school. One of them was very, very progressive. The other one couldn't even buy second-hand car. Fairly used car. The other guy couldn't even buy a fairly used car. They went to the same law school. So the point is that we have what we call destiny. We have performed some activities in our past life, and in this life, we are born into a particular situation where our accomplishments will be facilitated by dint of the environment or by dint of the circumstances we are born into. And it is not that people, okay, look at the example of Trump. Trump is a simple person, a criminal. Not missing is there. He was also found liable for sexually assaulting a writer, Eugene. He was fined $5 million. And that's the president. That's our president. So we could wonder. I mean, it is somebody. Another lady was raising that issue during the talk at the London School of Economics. He said, the Trump, how could he be the president? He's sinful, he's a criminal. Yeah, people don't get into those positions of the president of a country by chance. They have performed some good work in their past life. And so, the result of that good work is that they get big position. The problem is not the big position. How they use that position in this lifetime. How they use that position. So, yes, it's understandable. And it's very confusing when we find situations that people who are even criminals, they're increasing their wealth. They're buying private jets. So it looks like the enjoyment is, is progressive. But that is because of their past activities. So in a sense, it's not that it's purely out of their own deliberate hard work only. Again, even in our own, in the Damodar Leela, each time that Mother Yashoda tried to tie up Krishna to the wooden grinding water, there was a shortage of the rope, about 2 feet. And so the child, I think Krishna Chakravarti, I don't remember the exact child, and then he explained that our efforts alone is not enough. We need the mercy of the devotee, we need the mercy of the Lord too. what we perceive as increment or a decrease is not, it's relative, or rather, it is by dint of the person's pious or impious disposition from past. So they are prepared to continue. Can you imagine why is someone born in a situation is deaf, blind, and dumb? See, I had one of my friends in America, very strong devotee. But, he had his first son, and that really put him off to try to have another child. His first son was dumb, blind, and deaf. No, not deaf, dumb. And that alone pushed him to the wall. He was telling me how he was in India, and a saintly person approached him. And he said, hey, I know your problems. Your son is like this, like this, like this. I can make that son to talk and walk. But it means that he has to come back again to this material world. But if you sacrifice your resources, your life, to take care of him until he lives, you'll be able to become liberated. Which one do you want? He was completely taken aback. He thought about it, he said, don't worry, don't treat him. I'll take care. I want him to become liberated. So, karma works in very mysterious ways. You can imagine somebody is working very hard, and then he gets into that type of setting. Some people will even blaspheme Krishna. Of course, I think the child was given birth to before he came to the Krishna service. But the bottom line is that we don't really increase our material comfort because of our hard work in this very scenario. We have a lot of carry over. So whatever we are really passing through is from our past, from the samskaras of previous life. You see, I'll give you an example. You see, when I was before I came to the devotional side, I remember when I was in high school. My father used to write me messages like, he was an educator. He's living now. He was an educator. He used to write me messages like, I wanted to go get a PhD. I didn't know what the man was talking about. But later I got to know then, when I became a devotee, I thought, oh, okay, I have escaped him. But, but you know what? This same thing my Guru Maharaj told me, hey, Vasudeva, you go get a PhD. And that one, I can't say no. My father, I was able to escape because, of course, at that time, I didn't even know what the guy was talking about. So, yeah, I'm talking about samskaras. It's very difficult to understand the complexities of samskaras. So, yeah, Prabhupada said it's very correct. We cannot decrease it or increase it. We cannot create anything based on just our personal efforts. Some people, they don't work so hard. They're there. They have all the good things of life. Can you imagine? People go to school. In some cases, they don't even have a good job. They can't even buy their own house. I know people in America, all these rappers. I know a bunch of them. They have their private jets. Some of them did not even go to college. No, I'm serious. Yeah, some of them didn't go to college. So, what would you say about that? You think just people have to work so hard to become great achievers? Not only working hard, people have carried over samskaras. So that Prabhupada is unspokenly, that's what Prabhupada is referring to, that we cannot increase or decrease anything. But the beauty is that when we are in devotional service, we can change the whole of our karma. Yes, what's the next question? Is it clear?
Thank you much, yeah. So, one example that comes to my mind, and I want to see if that's correct, like if somebody's sick, has some physical pain, then we can just take painkiller and improve the situation. But then that will not solve the issue of the why is this person having this problem. So the karma will always later on come back. And at the same time, what you're saying, everything which happens is always under the purview of the law of karma.
Yes. But in devotional, yes, that's true. In devotional life, just like clapping before the changes, devotee's karma is being pulverized. This is the power of devotional life. Otherwise, I mean, how could somebody just be, you don't need to become a temple president, you don't need to become a GBC, you don't need to become a guru. Just by being a devotee, chanting Hare Krishna, following the regulative principle, doing some service, that person is giving the credit, not just to himself or to herself, but to the families, generations. If they're mathematically, 14 generations. Paramahamsas, Uta, 21 generations. Is there any what is the name of that book? Chaitanya Bhagavat. In the conversation between Vidyanidhi, Pundari Vidyanidhi and Karapani. Yes, so the point is devotional life is very close. Very, very close. We should not toy with it, we should not play with it. There is nothing we do out there that will give us the benefits of devotional life. And not only the individual, but people who do not even participate in doing anything. I have a cousin, he's a mathematician, so he tells me, so but then why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? So I said, see, I'm sacrificing my whole life for all of you. You simple guys, I'm sacrificing my whole life for all of you. You should be happy, okay? Yeah. It's rough, but this is the truth. Devotees, they're sacrificing their life for people even yet to be born. Any other questions? Yes, Mataji, some Prabhu's, the man has asked a question, so we want to balance it so that it doesn't seem as if, we are sidetracking women or relegating women to the background. I believe in balancing the situation, So yes, any Mataji, ladies, how do you address your ladies? In America, people in Europe, everyone is called Prabhu.
Well, that's individual choice.
Okay. So the ladies, any questions? Yes, please.
You need to unmute the mic.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare.
So you were talking about that it's good to do welfare for others, to work for the welfare, and it's really nice to be compassionate. My question is, and what I always think about is, how to put this practically, like we don't be attached to our actions, like in the welfare of human beings.
Yeah, it's a matter of being conscientious about that and put into practice. Sometimes, people ask similar questions that how am I going to put this into practice? Putting something into practice, like in science, we have theories and models. And the theories and models give you a framework. Now, if you apply that framework in trying to address a particular problem, then you get the results. It will endorse that very theory or model. So it's a matter of application. We know the theoretical perspective. We know this is good. So we put into practice that attachment, Hey, Bharat, this is what happened to Bharat. Let me not be attached. I'm doing this, I'm helping this person. Let me not be attached to the results. I'm helping this dog, but I should be careful so that I don't become a dog in my next life. Because if I think about the dog, this is exactly what happened to Bharat. Huh? Yeah, so it's application.
So it could be this simple, like.
Yeah. Being conscientious and applying the model. This very model of doing the service, helping someone, helping an animal, whatever, but being detached. Don't get, your attitude should be for Krishna. Your attachment should be for Krishna. Then you get a result, positive result. If we transfer the attachment to an entity like a four-legged entity, we will endanger us. Any last question? Okay, in the absence of, okay, yes,
I have a question on this actually.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much for your lecture. So to this point that we shouldn't be attached, it's not so easy. Sometimes we really have attachments that are very deep, and to think that we are not attached is not helping the situation. So, but still we know that actually we have to be compassionate and so on. So when is the point where you can say, okay, I can try to do it and try to be not attached? But if you actually know that you will be attached in whatever, how much, if you know that there will be some attachment, should you still do it because you will get some good comfort, or should you not do it because at some point you have?
It's a good question. It's a good question. It's a good question. So here's the deal. Let me give you an example of myself. I have a weakness. A weakness is attachment to family. So when I was growing up as a young boy, I had a very strong bond with one of my family members, my father's younger brother, uncle. When I was in a boarding house in high school, he was in college, and he would come sometimes to stay with me during some weekends in the boarding house. So we developed that type of strong relationship. My father didn't look after me like that. Okay? So we have that type of strong relationship. And but then the problem with that is that sometimes people love you, they show all affection, love, and then tendencies to control you. That was that guy. Because then he didn't allow me to make my own decisions. I'll give you an example. When I was to finish high school, so I planned that I'll go to do my degree and in a military university. I wanted to become involved in the military. You go to do a military university, you come out with peeps like full lieutenant and all captain and all those things. So I like those type of stuff. So then I didn't tell anybody in the family. I just my friends. I have two friends, very close friends. So but then one of them, he went to tell my uncle. He went to tell him that this is what the nephew is planning to do. He wants to go to military university. So that guy, he came to me one time and then he said, how do you want to do this? I don't want you to do that. So that's how I was kicked out from that aspiration. So I knew that, family members, they control me. So when I became a devotee, I didn't really go. I didn't contact with anybody. I didn't go visit family. How many years? 16 years. 16. So some of the kids that were born in family, they're already, 16 years. I didn't know that. But then, when I became satisfied that, yeah, now I'm a fully independent guy, no one can influence me, then I went. I went away thinking that guy who used to control me, he was begging me that, well, please, you try to come at least every year. And I just told him openly, excuse me, it's not possible, I'm very busy. So, my point is, if we know our weakness, it gives us a leverage. We know how to tackle it. So if I know this is, I'm not going to be able to stand without being attached to this, then I should avoid that. That's my point. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Because sometimes, see, we are humans, and we are vulnerable. We are vulnerable. So, yeah, if we know something is going to, we can't avoid being attached, then we should avoid it. Because we get attached, but attachment can maybe lead us to trouble. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhagavatam ki jai.
Srila Bhakti Vasudeva Maharaj ki
Jai.
Which rapper? You know?
Huh?
You said you have some rapper friends? Rapper?
No. Not my friends. Rappers.
Rappers like musicians.
Yeah. They have all private jets.
I thought you were friends.
No. I say that these American rappers, some of them they didn't go to college, but they have private jets. So. Yeah. No, a number of them. Yeah. A number of them have private jets.
Yeah. You must have known Chapas. Must have known Chapas. Mom.
Yeah, beer, Audion flowers, and I need some consolation of food. I'm going to try to forget about Hi, how are you? It's always that pleasure to come to Zurich.
Да, я думаю, что сказать, скажу да.